Welcome, and here's a little bit of extra bonus Bible study material. There are so many beautiful truths in this passage, too many for us to fit into one sermon. But there are others that I thought you might be interested in, and let's take time to look at just one beautiful truth. There is something significant about wells in the Bible. Setting is so important in movies, in literature, and Bible writers were tuned into that type of detail. So are we. It's like when you're watching an old Western movie and you see a lone gunman wearing a black hat, walking into town, strutting down the street clears, a tumbleweed blows across the street, and he walks up to the doors of the saloon and ominously swings the doors open, and you know what's about to happen. The setting says it all. The setting is iconic, formulaic. As it turns out, in the Bible, wells are a lot like that. In the Old Testament, we see prophetic pictures, foreshadows of Jesus long before he was born. Part of that is Israel had these key leaders in history known as patriarchs, and each of these patriarchs were a foreshadow of Christ. But when we study the lives of these patriarchs, we see an amazing coincidence. Where did they find their bride? Isaac, alongside a well. Moses, alongside a well. Jacob, alongside a well. Biblical scholars tell us that this setting is iconic. Wells are where first century romances began. They didn't have dating websites, jewishmingle.com or eShalom. Now, don't get me wrong, please. I'm not trying to say that this is a typical boy meets girl story. However, it is a meeting of a bride story. This is where the God of the universe meets his bride, if you will. Just a few verses prior to today's passage, the woman at the well, John the Baptist said this about Jesus. This is John chapter 3, verse 27. To this, John the Baptist replied, "A man can receive only what is given him from heaven. You yourselves can testify that I said, I am not the Christ, but am sent ahead of him. The bride belongs to the bridegroom. The friend who attends the bridegroom waits and listens for him, and is full of joy when he hears the bridegroom's voice. That joy is mine, and it is now complete. He must become greater, I must become less." John the Baptist says the bridegroom has come, and he's here looking for his bride. Now, we know that from the Bible, the church, you and I, we get the honor of being the bride of Christ. You and me. And I think today's story of the woman at the well is to remind us that God even includes Samaritans, outcast, broken, lost people. Jesus was looking to connect with his bride, so he went to a well. He chose a very unusual, unlikely well. Strange well, wouldn't you say? You and I, by the grace of God, get to be his bride. God bless you.